In the previous tutorial, we used the bulk connect without changes tool to create new product sets and connect them to a series of 13 listings on our Shopify store. However, we have those same 13 listings in our Etsy store, and in the bulk update variants tool, we're essentially going to show you how to use existing product sets and bulk connect them to existing listings that you have. So this is a great example of this tool. However, you can also use the bulk update variant connections tool to update variant connections in case things got disconnected. You can update them in case you made a mistake, or you can do things on like a piecemeal basis in case you want to bulk onboard portions of your catalog. So what this tool allows you to do is onboard and update variant connections in whatever cadence you'd like. So let's get started with that. It's going to require us to go to the bulk flows page. And then from there, I'm going to click bulk update variant connections, and we're going to choose the Etsy store and click generate file. And then from there, I'm going to upload this to a Google Sheet in my sheet. So give me 1 second. So I'm just going to rename this, and that's going to be variant connections. So what you'll see in here is that this includes a row for each of the variants that I have in my Etsy store. So you'll see on Etsy, these are all of the listings that I have and all of the variants. And this is where I can connect certain products to the corresponding variants on Etsy. So you'll see that this is essentially what describes the option values and so on. And we can see basically all the identifying information, including the variant ID, the listing URL, and then also the URL that points to Artelo. So essentially what we need to do is fill out the product set and then the corresponding product configurations. So in this case, that means we're going to need to populate that with this column and this column. This column determines what product set it is, and then this is the column that determines which product selections they are. So in our case, it's actually pretty straightforward because we used a good naming convention for the products that we created in the previous step. And in this case, I can just copy them over. So I know it's going to be like Helma AF Clint 1, and then it's basically going to be that all the way down. So if I just copy this over, I know that's actually going to be number 2. So if I do something like this, I can Command F and then just replace 1 with 2. So for all intents and purposes, you can do this in a bunch of different ways, and it's really completely up to you. You can kind of go back and forth if you'd like. You can even type it out since it's kind of simple. So this is a bit manual, but there are shortcuts that I'm going to walk you through in a second here. So obviously I can just continue doing this. It would be number 4. This can be number 5. And so I'll pause it here and then start it back up when I'm done connecting the product sets. Okay, so now I have all of my product sets connected, and basically what I'm telling Artelo is that for this listing and for this product variant, this is the product set it belongs to, and then now I need to connect the specific product as well. So one thing that you'll see here is that since I'm using the same template, I'm going to be able to use the exact same product set collection. And so that's one thing that I can kind of hang my hat on as a shortcut, but I just want to make sure that I have this all set up. So what I can actually do is filter. So I know that if I add a filter to this, what I can do is narrow down the unframed. Let's just start with the 12 by 16. And I know that all of these are actually going to correspond to the same type of selections. So all I would need to do is find which one that is. So that's going to be the 12 by 16 unframed, and that's always just going to be this, right? Because these selections, and I'll show you what I mean by that, is for every single product set, we know that one of these is going to exist, and they're all the same. And so I could just do this uniquely for the products that I have. And so in this case, I'm just going to go to 60 by 20 next. And I'll just find an example of that. So that's going to be the 16 by 20 unframed. And then I'm just going to pause it here and repeat that process for the remaining 7 different product selections. So I now have everything connected. So what that means is for all of my variants that I had, I found the corresponding product set. And then likewise, I found the corresponding product within there. And so now I know for any of my variants, it's going to be connected to the corresponding product set that I created in the previous step when I created those product sets from the templates. So now I'll demonstrate what this looks like in a second. But first, I'll just need to make sure I update everything. And so now that that's updated, I can just make sure that these are also done. And so this is all ready to upload, and I'm going to File, Download as Excel. I'm going to go back in here and upload this. And then now I can actually confirm this. But before I confirm this, I'm just going to go back to Artelo and show you kind of like a before and after. And so I'm going to look at one of these listings, let's say Hilma AF Clint 1. And then I'll have this open and then reopen it once we're done. But essentially I have my file here. I'm going to click Update Variant Connections. That's going to update these variant connections for basically everything. So you can see that that was already done very quickly. And then now I can go back over here to Helma AF Clint 1. And what I'm going to do is just open up another version, the updated version, and you can kind of see how things have changed. So now I see that everything is connected, and it is connected to a product set that I previously created. And so that is now connected to a variant on Shopify and the corresponding variant on Etsy. And so you can just see what this was like before, where we just had a non-connected listing where nothing was connected. And you can see that everything was perfectly connected in bulk. And so this process can be repeated over large parts of your catalog, small parts of your catalog, to solve any mapping issues that you previously experienced. And yeah, so it's a completely flexible standalone tool. In the next installment, I'm going to show you the kind of complementary tool to this, which is going to be the bulk image upload tool.